Hey, everybody, it's Cindy here, the Midlife Makeover Coach, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Life Makeovers. So, I teach women in midlife how to love themselves unapologetically and build unwavering confidence so they can live fully their lives, whatever they want to create for themselves. And so that's what I'm here doing with my guests on the podcast. We're talking about midlife, we're talking about transformation, we're talking about real life, the journey, the ups, the downs, what's worked for us, what has not, and what's been some of our greatest challenges and our greatest successes in midlife and beyond. And I hope you heard the episode a couple days ago with Steffany Barton, who is an absolute gem and going through midlife herself. She has a nursing background and has shifted into spiritual medium work and body and energy work with people. And really, we had a wonderful conversation about our relationships with our bodies and how our body and soul has a relationship as well, and things that we can learn by becoming observers of what's going on with our bodies. It was just a fascinating conversation, might be a conversation you've never quite heard or had before. So I really recommend you go back and listen to the full episode. However, here are some of the highlights of what she shared. She says that our bodies are simply our physical vehicles for our lives here on earth, and they are our teachers. And what we women often do, especially, and I hear it all the time from women in midlife, is we judge our bodies, right? We judge it. We don't like this about it. We don't like how we're aging. We don't like the fat around the middle. We don't like what our hormones are doing to us. We don't like the sleeplessness, the chronic pain, whatever's going on with you. And she says to try to step out of judgment and instead observe what's going on observe what's going on with your bodies and see what it can teach you, and to make peace with your body, because she wants us to remember that yes, we have bodies, but there's something so much more important about us all, that we are souls. She says to say to yourself, I have a body, but I am more than my body. I'm much more than my skin and my bones. And again, to learn not to judge it, but rather observe and learn. So one of the things she recommended was to, if you're having like sleep issues, is to learn to let go of all your regrets, all your guilt, anything that's negative, to learn to let go of this, because she says that a lack of sleep is a symptom of harboring some of these very difficult emotions. And she has what she calls her night shift notes. I love this. So she keeps a journal or paper by her bedside. And if she wakes up, she's having interrupted sleep or whatever, not sleeping well at night, she goes in and she just purges on paper, just whatever happens, whether it's doodling, it's a list of words, whether it's full sentences, whatever it is, she just purges those difficult feelings, and that helps her get back to a night of sleep and rest. And then she talked about weight fluctuations that so many of you experience in midlife, and said that really represents a lack of stability. And so to think about, if your weight's going up and down, how is your life not stable? Where do you not feel secure? And how can you find your center? This was so fascinating to me, because I can honestly tell you, ladies, my weight's been fluctuating for decades, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I'm thinking I'm feeling pretty secure in life, but I'm certainly going to look at that and see how I can see what I can do to shift that in that way. She says that our souls have chosen our bodies very specifically to get the job done that we are here to do on earth. So that's another reason not to judge it, but rather observe it and learn from it, because she says our souls pick our bodies for whatever we are to do while we're here. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so fascinating. And she said to remember too that our souls will never guide us to anything but what is most healthy for us in whatever way, whatever health means to you: mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health, financial health, all of it. She says your souls are only going to guide you to the good. So to stay really in touch with that inner self, you have that inner knowing. We talked a bit about exercise, and she says, exercise often feels like it's another thing on our to-do list. It's another chore. We should be doing it, and we pick on ourselves if we're not. And she said, what if we shifted our perspective on exercise as joyful movement and just add as much joyful movement in our daily lives as possible? She even gave the example that she called laundry yoga, where she really reaches high and stretches far when she's hanging up clothes or she's reaching down to get clothes or whatever, and turns even laundry into a little bit of a mini stretch or yoga session for herself. So I thought that was really fascinating. And I thought, oh yeah, what are all the ways that we can just have joyful movement in life that does keep the body upright and going and doing, because we tend to have sedentary lifestyles. I definitely do, because I sit at a desk most of the day for my job. So I've got to get up and move, more and more and more to really treat my body well. And so I do strive to do that. But I hadn't thought about just, really viewing it as joyful movement and increasing that amount of joyful movement every day, just in what I'm normally doing. So I loved that. She said that the primary lessons we come to Earth to learn are to, one, accept ourselves, two, to love ourselves, and three, to know our worth. Can you believe it? I love that. I don't know where she got that, but I really love it, to accept ourselves, love ourselves, and know our worth. So that is what I do in all my coaching programs. It's like I teach women how to love themselves and really know their worth. And so that's, according to Steffany, what we're here to do. This is our life's work. And so anything that you can do right now to increase how much you love and accept yourself, how worthy you know that you are, and really feel that inside yourself, please go down that path. We talked a bit about aging, because I know that one of the things that y'all have told me you're struggling with is how you're aging, and that part of you just thinks when you reach your 40s, 50s, or 60s that it's all downhill from here. It's all just, we're going to get older, sicker, and die, basically. Many of you have told me this. And she says that how fast or slow we are aging on the outside, or how old we feel on the inside, has to do with how much energy of others we are taking on. So how much are you taking on that's not yours? That heaviness that you feel in your life, that's slowing you down, that's dragging you through life, and making you not feel as sharp and alive as you want to feel, could be representative of burdens you're carrying that you don't need to be carrying. And she used the metaphor of thinking about a car going down the road. And if you fill the trunk with bricks, that the car isn't going to be able to move as easily and as efficiently as if it didn't have any bricks in it at all. And the more bricks you put in, the harder it's going to struggle. And that's what she equated it to, which made so much sense to me. So she says to make sure we're always releasing, we're letting go of anything that's not ours, we're letting go of everything that's not necessary, and that will actually slow the aging process, which is just another fascinating thing. And then one other thing she shared was, if you suddenly feel some strong feelings and you have no idea where they're coming from, like suddenly you're very upset and you don't know what it is. You're like, what am I upset about? I don't know why I'd be upset right now, or angry, or whatever it is. She says that is an indicator that it has come from outside of yourself. It's someone else's pain. It's someone else's trauma. It's someone else's something. And you are taking it on. You've taken it on. And so again, if you know it's not yours, to learn to release it. You can release it through reflection, letting it go, venting about it, journaling about it, physically releasing it through exercise or something, but find your own way to release that and sort of shed yourself of other people's stress that you are adopting. So again, the whole conversation was a great discussion about our relationship with our bodies, our relationship with aging, and how our souls and bodies work together in life. And it was just a fascinating conversation. And the last thing I'll share from her perspective, she said, if you have an outer body issue, like maybe it's your weight, or maybe it's a rash, a recurring rash or something. She says that the outer body issues we experience could be related to something that's troubling in our relationship with others. And if we have an inner body issue, maybe you have a cholesterol issue, maybe you have, circulatory problems. I'm making up ideas around this right now, but that has more to do with your relationship with yourself. So, in other words, if you have inner body issues, work on that relationship with yourself, making that a better relationship, a healthier relationship with yourself, and that should help with the inner body issues. And if you have outer body issues, work on those relationships with others and get really healthy in your relationships with others, and that might help the outer body issues. So, if you are fascinated with these ideas, even if you think they're woo woo or you think there's something you've never heard of or you're not overly comfortable with, I dare you to go back and listen to that episode with Steffany Barton and hear more and hear her eloquence in describing these things versus me just sort of wrapping them up. So once again, I'm Cindy Whitmer, the Midlife Makeover Coach. Thank you for joining me on the Life Makeovers podcast. If you want to get in touch with Steffany Barton, her website is angelsinsight.com, angelsinsight.com, and my website is cindydwhitmer.com. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.